Hello, welcome to European TV. My name is Eze Peter Chukwuemeka, and I'm a member of Young Leaders' Rights and Patriotic Initiative of Nigeria. Today, we are discussing pre-election matters. Our topic today is expectation versus reality. And we will be talking about the people, we'll be talking about the INEC, we'll be talking about the candidates, and we're talking generally about the 2023 election. And here with me is the founder of Young Leaders' Rights and Patriotic Initiative, the president and founder. Welcome, sir.
Thank you,
May we know your name?
Okay, my name is Petrus Andrew Amos Ubedojo, and thank you for joining us in today's conversation about the 2023 general elections. And we're going to be talking about issues that borders on INEC, the candidates, and the people in general. We're trying to compare what has been the expectations of these key stakeholders in Nigeria's general election and what is the reality on ground. So, Peter, over to you.
Okay, let's start by talking about the expectations of the candidates.
Okay.
Of course, generally we all know that we have about 18 political parties participating in the 2023 presidential election. Let's keep it to that. We know we have other elections, senatorial, governorship elections that are coming. But from this presidential election, we have about 18 political parties. And of course, in general, these 18 political parties, each one of them wants to win. And that is the expectation, isn't it?
Definitely.
So what do you think? Do you really think that the expectations is actually going to be real? Is it possible that 18 political parties win one ballot, win one election?
It's not possible.
Okay, so
we always have one winner in every contest. And in this case, if I ask even you, the audience, you tell me you don't know much about the rest of the parties except PDP, Labour Party, APC, and the NNPP, ably represented by Kwankwaso, PDP by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the Labour Party by P2B, and then APC by Tinubu Ahmed Bola. And all of these candidates have their expectations. But you know, the reality on ground shows something very different from what has been their expectations. If you ask anyone 2 years ago, they'll tell you, APC are good at making sure they come back to power. If you ask anyone few years ago, they'll tell you PDP are good at making sure they do anything humanly possible to come back to power. And then suddenly we saw P2B coming into the scene, and that has unsettled every kind of permutations you can think of in Nigeria's election, especially in this 2023 general elections. And so, whatever be the expectations of each of these candidates to win, we cannot say for a sure who is going to win this coming election because there are a lot of dynamics to it.
Yes, let's take for instance Enugu State.
Okay.
Enugu State has been so known to PDP as their stronghold.
Yeah, exactly.
And over the years, they have voted, since 1999, they have voted for PDP repeatedly.
Yes.
Since 1999. But this time around, we've seen a change. We've seen that even the governor of the state is now one of the 5 governors they call G5 governors. And this has really unsettled Enugu State because the governor himself is a candidate in a senatorial election in Enugu State, Enugu North, I believe. And then he is actually looking forward to be voted for under PDP, yet have not declared his support for the presidential candidate of PDP, exactly. Knowing that the people are actually pushing for Peter Obi, which is their tribe's person, and also people, some of them believe to be more competent.
No, so I don't know. Tribe apart. When you come to places like Benue, P2B is not from Benue, you know, but we see how his candidacy is selling very well around the country. So it's not really, for each of these candidates, we don't want to look at the ethnic coloration attached to them because we are not going to be voting for ethnicity in this election.
Yeah, but the expectation generally is that ethnic coloration will happen based on the 3 persons three main political figures that are actually running for the presidency. We have Atiku from the north, and we have Tinubu from the west, and which is Yoruba, and we have Peter Obi from the Igbos, which are the three major tribes in Nigeria. There is always an expectation that people will want to actually lean to their own tribal person.
Yes,
but is that really the reality on ground?
That is not the reality on ground. You see, in this particular election, no ethnic group can deliver a vote that will make you emerge nationwide in this election.
Oh, yes, I agree with you on that.
Now, look at it this way. I see, based on my own personal analysis, that the support that P2B has is more of outside his region than even his own region, for a sure. And I see people promoting Atiku are even more of the Easterners, people that are not personalists. So these are issues that are on ground. And if you look at it, if you say Tinubu take the west and Atiku take the north, and then Kwankwaso also take the north, the vote is already divided. So we can't say for a sure who could emerge as the presidential winner in this election until the ballot is cast. So that is the situation on ground. So for the candidates, we know your expectations are high, but at the same time, you need to have it in mind that after every election, there is always a winner. We mean a winner, not winners. But we could also have a situation where the winner could form a unitary government that will embrace all parties. That is what personally I envisage for. That whosoever win should bring all the good brains on board to form a unity government. Outside that, it's also very important for the candidates to prepare their mind to accept defeat when it occurs, when the election doesn't go their way in this coming election. That is very important. And to also do that very quickly in order to quench every nerves that that could lead to violence in this election, especially post-election violence. It's something that we need to ensure is totally eradicated in this election, because oftentimes government infrastructures, private properties and lives becomes the target. When you destroy private infrastructure, government infrastructure, public infrastructure, you are hurting the people themselves, because it's a common word that is used to build this infrastructure. So when you destroy the assets of the people. When you go to attacking lives and property, you can't give life, you can't create life. So don't go taking lives. When you destroy people's property, you plunge them into poverty. And we already know the hardship the people of this country are facing already. So we should be ready to accept defeat if the election doesn't go your way. And that is on a condition that INEC is seen to be non-partisan and do his job credibly.
Oh yes, of course. Just to add to what he has said, of course, free and fair election is what we crave for. And if INEC is able to deliver free, fair and credible election, we expect that everybody will be calm.
Exactly.
Now, but even at that, whatever happens, I know the expectations of all voters is that their candidate will win. I do know that the expectations of all voters is that their candidate will win. But, of course, the reality is that even though your candidate does not win, a candidate must win, and it doesn't have to be from your own political party. It could be from another political party, and that means that you have to be calm and accept the result. And if the result does not go your way, go to the court. There is a way of addressing these issues. It doesn't have to be violent. So don't go about destroying public properties or private properties. If you destroy somebody's property, you have just taken a whole lot out of the person's life. Maybe 1 year of the person's struggle you have just destroyed. And if it is government property, you have just destroyed our common goal. You are still guilty as the bad politicians we have been campaigning against. You are as guilty as them, because they destroy our property, our common goal or commonwealth, and you have also done the same thing.
And that could be part of the reason why you were not voted in the first place.
Exactly. That could be it. So maybe the people already sees what could happen if you are voted.
And remember, after this election, there is also another chance for you to contest. It's your right as a citizen, and nobody is going to deny you that. So what you do after this election matters a lot to the people of this good country, Nigeria.
Oh yeah. So post Both pre and post election matters are very important.
Exactly.
So the way you come into power is actually going to determine the way you govern. So if you come into power with a negative vibe, you are most likely going to be doing the wrong thing,
Exactly.
because you actually want to please the people who helped you to come into power negatively. I think that's one of the key things we should also think of.
Exactly. So, what do you think about the dynamics leading to the election, like recent policies of Naira redesign that Nigerians are going through a lot of hardship because of, and also with another set of people saying this is targeted at certain individuals or to discredit a particular party like the All Progressive Congress. Do you agree that this policy is actually targeted at individuals are not good enough for Nigerian people?
Well, you see, the issue with this, with the people of some of the people in this country, some of the people in this country, especially the politicians, is that when it doesn't favor them, they start to cry.
Wow.
When it favors them, they keep mute, even if it is whether it is wrong or right.
Okay.
So for policies have been. This is not the first policies of the government. Policy of the government. Of course, there was a policy about tax raise, and nobody spoke about it. Nobody said anything about it. Even the governors
From
kept
5% to 7.5%.
exactly, and nobody said anything about it. That affected the people of this country directly. Yet the politicians, the
They
Erufais,
enjoyed it.
they enjoyed it because the
the
money
money is
will
coming
come
back
from
to
them,
them.
will coming back to them. Yes, that's on the one thing. And then this particular one, we are talking about Naira redesign. It is the right of the CBN to redesign Naira in time. So
Okay.
if it's their right, allow them to do their work. It affects the people, but it doesn't mean that it is not the right thing to be done.
Okay. Actually, we all know that every election involves serious spending. So, how do CBN, for instance, expect election to go on very smoothly for political parties with limited cash available? How do the CBN expect them to run this election effectively? I think there was a time that even INEC complained that there, there will be in short of physical cash for their logistics.
Okay, I have read an article before,
Okay.
and the articles talked about monetization of our electoral process. And I think that article was written by you.
Yes.
I could remember you wrote that article.
Yes.
That's years, I think, if not years or months ago, before this election at all.
Exactly.
Monetization of our electoral processes. If CBN, through their policies, maybe intended or unintended,
To demonetize.
have been able to demonetize our electoral system, that should be a kudos to them.
Okay.
So I think you don't need the money, the whole money in the whole world to win an election.
Exactly.
You just need some money. Like people
And
just
our
need to
election
like
is
you.
one of the costless elections across the globe.
That's another thing. And I have also seen that there are people who will like you, and they will go there as a polling unit agent for you without being paid.
Wow.
They will
Is that happening
protect
in
your
this
vote.
election?
I'm telling you that is happening. I have interviewed some few persons, and I have seen some people who are ready to go and become polling agents. And even if they are not elected or picked as polling agents, they are ready to stay there and guide the vote to some
Wow,
candidates.
that's patriotic of those ones.
Of course,
That's incredible.
that's what part of what
Yes.
this electoral the electoral act has provided,
Yeah.
and also this money policy is also going to help those who doesn't have money to spend,
That's like giving everyone a common ground.
an equal ground to campaign.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, Nigerians, you've heard from Petrus Peter Eze that those who are complaining is not in the good interest of Nigerians. That actually the policy is for our good. And if you ask me, I'll say the cry is too much, especially from the ruling party governors.
Yeah,
The cry is too much, and there is more than what we see. If you ask me,
Yeah.
if you ask me, because these governors boldly hide our palliatives, our indomies, our salt, Maggi, and
even Pepe.
even pepper. They hide everything away from us, and they never feel remorseful about that. No single governor offered an apology
Not even one.
to their citizens. It's a very pathetic one. That's to tell you how selfish they are. You should not listen to them. Go out and cast a vote, and hopefully we hope that your polling unit is not going to be too far from where you live, and you're not going to pass through so much stress on that day of election. And we also want to advise you that if you cast your vote, if you have the strength, please remain behind so the vote could be counted in your presence before you take your leave. And then you can go home and tell your family, your friends that this is the result of my polling unit. That will also promote transparency in the electoral process.
Yeah.
Yes. And now let's come back to INEC. Do you think INEC has done everything necessary for this election to go very smoothly?
Yeah, I think INEC has actually done great work.
Wow.
In my own understanding, I can tell you that INEC, from what I have seen, INEC has actually done very well.
Okay.
Yeah, more than what they have been doing before now. It's not as if they have come to the best they can do.
Okay.
But from where we were in 2015, 2019, and today, INEC has actually done so well.
Especially with their great support for the Electoral Act.
Exactly.
I need to give kudos to INEC.
Exactly. So, and then there is one particular thing that I was talking about today, 7 days to the election, and INEC is relocating voters from one polling unit to another.
Oh,
is that really okay?
Yes.
Is that correct? Just 7 days to the election?
I got a message in the house this morning on my wife's phone that our polling unit has been changed to a nearby one, and she's just getting that this morning. And you know, I believe INEC has been put under pressure to do this. We learned that over 5 million people have been moved from their polling unit to a different polling unit, and INEC failed to communicate this before now. Last Saturday, we were having a conversation like this in Young African Leaders Initiative under the US Embassy, and I brought this forth. I think my senior colleague, Farouk Ibrahim from Young Africa, also buttressed this fact that INEC has not disclosed this information. And probably pressure from people have made them to come up with this idea of sending SMS to people that your polling unit have been located, and you could go to voters.inecnigerian.org for you to check the status of your polling unit and to know the exact polling unit you have been posted to. I think INEC is coming a bit late for this, but the fact that your polling unit is not going to be far from the initial polling unit is something that we shouldn't worry about. But I have heard where people say that their polling unit have been moved to about 3 miles away from their initial polling unit, and that is going to be stressful for them, considering the fact that there's going to be restriction of movement on that fateful day of election. So my people, INEC have done what they have to do. I don't want you to be discouraged at this point, because if you fail to go out to cast your vote because the polling unit has been changed, what that means is that your candidate, your party, stand the chance not to win in your polling unit.
Yeah, that's it. And then I want to also say that, of course, INEC has done what they ought to do. Now, it's your own. For those who didn't receive message, because it's possible your phone, the SIM card is stolen or is misplaced,
or your phone is bad,
and your phone is bad, and you didn't receive message, and then you got to the election booth that day trying to vote and it's not recognizing you. Please check other polling units within.
Exactly.
Check other polling units within. I am sure you'll be able to find where your name is. Don't just get angry and leave the polling unit, because that will be you disenfranchising yourself.
Exactly.
So please, as you go out there to vote, check for your names on the list. And INEC have said they are going to paste the list of people who will be voting in a particular polling unit between now and the election date. So you still have 7 days. Go to your polling unit, the normal one you used to vote. Check it out. If your name is not there, go to another one close by. Continue checking until you find your name. We must change Nigeria's history, and we must do that now.
Oh yes. And also, if your name begins with A, B, C, D, like your name is Amos, your name is Abdul, your name is Ali, you know, you don't need to bother yourself. I'm not sure you're going to be affected by this change of polling unit. They're actually trying to decongest the polling unit so that you could vote early enough, and by 2:30 the election is over. So we need to look at the motive behind INEC moving people to one polling unit, so that you not go there and you'll be angry that your polling unit has been changed. Consider the motive first. And the motive in this case is so that 750 people don't have to be in one particular polling unit. even if the election commences by 7 a.m., they won't be able to finish before 2:30 p.m. as stipulated by INEC. So now that people have been polling units are being decongested, is to enable you to finish on time. Do you know what that does? You are more secure because the election is going to end during the daytime, not it's not going to enter into the night, and which means your security is more guaranteed, and which means you are going to go back home on time, unlike staying till late night in previous elections. So let's consider the motive. Take your time, go check out your name in your polling unit. If you don't see your name, go to the next one and you'll be able to cast your vote. Let's come out en masse to make sure we give support to our candidates and to our political parties. Let your vote count. And of course, Beavers has done the magic that we need for us. People don't need to come out and cast and destroy ballot box and all of that anymore. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to count for you. Rather, another election is going to be conducted in that polling unit if you disrupt election in that particular polling unit, which means more security, more INEC personnel, more eyes will be on ground for that particular polling unit, and that will be more loss for you that came to destroy
Of
or
course.
to disrupt election.
In fact, just in my own way, I would always say, please, if somebody comes to steal your ballot box in your polling unit, let him go, just capture an evidence, forget it.
Exactly.
Beavers has done the magic.
Exactly.
Just allow the person fool themselves and do the disruption and then lose their own votes.
Exactly.
Sometimes they can carry when they carry the ballot box, of course, they will rerun the election in that polling unit, and that will give more credibility to the election there.
Exactly.
So I don't think anybody has anything to fear this time.
It's okay. So I think on the part of INEC, we are asking that you put more hands together to be able to achieve quality delivery, efficiency, and also to be effective in the discharge of your duties. Now it begins from your logistics angle. If you are able to mobilize to polling unit on time, then people will know you are on ground. Unlike other elections where we have people waiting for INEC till 11 a.m. and INEC officials have not arrived, it begins to ring something in the minds of the people. What is INEC up to? Why are they not here by this time? So once INEC officials are at the polling unit on time, it casts a lot of nerves and people know that INEC are serious, and the people too will be serious. That is it. And we beg everyone to cooperate with INEC officials in your various polling units. Make sure there is peace, make sure people have where to sit and all of that. Make sure you provide water and all of that, and it's going to be fantastic. So on the part of the people, what do you have to tell the people?
Please clean your voter's card.
Okay.
Clean it very well. Clean the place where the beavers will read. In fact, if possible, do a thorough cleaning. Don't wash so that you don't destroy it. Just clean it very well so that it will be able to recognize it. Go to the polling unit, your polling unit, check for your name, vote, and if possible, sit there and watch your vote.
Exactly.
Sit there and watch your vote, and support your polling unit agent who is there. Don't just vote and go. If you vote and go and there is an issue, your polling unit agent who is there to protect your vote may not be there alone, may not be able to protect.
Oh, yes.
So you can be a support for him. So that is all I could say for now.
It's okay. And also your beavers have a way of identifying not only your fingers or the shape on your card. I mean, not only able to read your card, it can also take your fingers. Because there is a barcode at the back of your PVC that the beavers can read.
Yeah.
It can also read your fingerprints, and it can also recognize your face. So that they don't go and wear makeup, our advice.
Exactly.
For the ladies,
Of course.
for the ladies, don't wear makeup that will change you from who you were when you captured for the voter's card. It's very important so that the beavers machine could be able to recognize you. I think that is all we have for the people today.
Yes.
So
we advise you to actually always watch Yopin TV and then like, subscribe, and give that thumbs like button. And
you could also share if you find this content educative enough. You could also share to your cycles of friends, family, colleagues, and other WhatsApp groups and Facebook as well.
Of course, and when you comment, tell us the next thing you would want us to discuss.
Exactly.
You can tell us to discuss the post-election, what may happen after the election.
Exactly.
Just suggest to us what you want us to talk about.
Exactly.
And I believe you will enjoy it.
Exactly. So thank you for watching Yopin TV. Bye, and we wish you a very fantastic election outing. Stay patriotic. Once again,
Yes.
I remain Patriot Andrew Amos Ubedojo.
And I am Patriot Eze Peter Chukwemeka.
Thank you. Bye.